Right now, the city of Madison with a decision to make, preserving history or moving ahead with a new apartment complex.
Plus, how the Beloit School District is updating its safety protocols after reported racist behavior by an opposing school.
And despite the cold and expansion, that reminds us warmer weather is on the horizon. You're watching News 3 Now at 10. And thanks for joining us this evening, members of the Madison community making one last-ditch effort to save an old building on Sherman Avenue. Earlier this year, the city council voted to not make it an historical landmark. That decision officially opens the site up for redevelopment.
A new housing proposal has neighborhood residents up in arms. McKenna Alexander joins us now with the latest from tonight's Plan Commission vote.
Yeah, after nearly 4 hours, members of the Plan Commission unanimously voted to approve the demolition of the filing house and the development of new apartments and townhomes. The new development will include 331 apartment and townhome units spread across several buildings, many of them with underground parking structures. The renderings presented to city leaders have been met with criticism from neighbors who argue the complex will be too large and modern to blend in with the area. In November, Madison's Landmarks Commission decided the building has historic value, given it hosted a President Truman speech in 1950. But in February, the Common Council rejected that.
The historical discussion has come and passed, and Common Council has made their opinions clear. The building is not architecturally significant, and its history is not better than housing for people.
These are the people who have maintained this area as far back as the 1930s to the present, paid significant property taxes for the privilege of living on Lake Mendota with a degree of privacy, living in a single-family residence. These are the people who are now being asked to be confronted with a structure that has absolutely no compatibility with the existing neighborhood on Sherman Avenue.
The filing house is currently home to Care Wisconsin, a nonprofit that connects people with disabilities to local services. The Plan Commission's recommendation now goes to the Common Council for final approval.
McKenna, thank you. Next tonight, we're getting a bit of a breather from the weather for the next couple of days, but we have to keep an eye out for later this week. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti has our first warn forecast.
And tonight, the big issue is going to be how cold it gets. Skies have cleared out in many locations, and temperatures are starting to fall off. Let's take a look, first of all, at the time lapse from the WISC-TV Skycam. Lots of clouds today, very little in the way of sunshine, and even a few flurries from time to time. But as we headed towards sunset, we started to see some breaks in the clouds up to the north. High temperatures today, Madison didn't even hit 30 degrees, 29 the best we could do. Janesville hit 30, was mainly in the lower 30s to the west of Madison, upper 20s to the east of town. Now we're seeing temperatures drop off, 24 in Madison, but notice to the north where skies are clearing already down to 7 degrees in Black River Falls and 12 in Camp Douglas and Wautoma. Here in Dane County, temperatures range from 20 in Verona to as warm as 24 degrees in Stoughton and 26 in Edgerton. Wind chills right now, really not too much of a factor, but they're already down into the single digits north of the Dells, and a few places could see wind chills as cold as 10 below zero by early tomorrow morning. Otherwise, the rest of us will be looking for low temperatures right around 9 degrees with wind chills around zero. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes a warm-up, then some rain followed by snow at the end of the week.
Gary, thank you. We have new information tonight about the newborn baby who was found dead in a whitewater field earlier this month. Today, police say the baby was a boy and was in the field for less than 48 hours before being found dead. In addition, Whitewater Police Chief Dan Meyer says the newborn was found in a plastic bag inside of a cardboard box. A vigil was held for the baby over the weekend. So far, police have not identified anyone as a suspect in the death.
A former UW-Madison grad student faces charges for threatening to kill the children of several students and staff members at the university. 32-year-old Arvin Mather was arrested in Michigan Friday. He's accused of threatening 9 people via email. Mather will be back in court for a detention hearing tomorrow.
Around the state, Milwaukee County is investing $11 million to combat the opioid epidemic. Today, leaders unveiled the first of dozens of so-called harm reduction vending machines. They contain emergency and prevention supplies, including fentanyl test strips, nasal Narcan, medication deactivation pouches, and more. Officials say Milwaukee County has among the highest rates of overdose deaths in Wisconsin. The school district of Beloit is updating its safety policies and procedures after alleged racist behavior from fans of the Muskego team during a boys basketball game earlier this year.
Armand Rahman joins us now to break it down. Armand?
Eric and Charlotte, in a letter sent to families Thursday, the superintendent of Beloit Schools, Dr. Willie Garrison II, said the Purple Knight community cannot determine how another community will handle a greater conversation about dismantling racism, but he says he will not allow his students to drive hate out with hate. It happened in a game earlier this month between Beloit Memorial and Muskego. Students reportedly traced offensive images in dust on top of gym lockers, and Beloit Memorial's athletic director emailed his counterpart about unsportsmanlike phrases allegedly chanted in the stands. There also appeared to be a costume theme that some Muskego students were participating in. And in a letter to district families, Dr. Garrison says new policies and procedures are in place should something like that happen again. This includes a zero-tolerance policy for poor sportsmanship and a promise to take immediate action to keep students safe. Also, if unsportsmanlike behavior occurs, coaches can call a timeout and speak to officials about any sort of penalty for spectator behavior. The host's athletic director should also remind fans about expected behavior, and if anything troubling continues, Beloit will take its players back to the locker room to pack up and leave. Muskego Norway Schools acknowledged the incident in a Facebook post, saying it was deeply saddened and disappointed with the information shared about the original incident. They held a school board meeting tonight where protesters gathered, but no public comment was heard about the incident. The Muskego Police Department is conducting an investigation into the incident with the school.
Armand, thank you. New FBI data shows reported hate crimes increased by nearly 12% in 2021. Some 12,000 people were victims, and these statistics are still incomplete. In fact, many law enforcement agencies haven't submitted reports to the new National Incident-Based Reporting System. Senior FBI officials also say hate crimes largely go unreported. New at 10, a federal jury in New York has spared the life of convicted Manhattan terrorist Sayfullo Saipov. The jury could not reach a unanimous decision on the death penalty. Saipov was convicted last January of driving a truck down a bike path in New York City back in 2017. That attack killed 8 pedestrians and injured several others.
The White House is encouraging Chinese President Xi Jinping to directly talk to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. It comes on the heels of a report saying the Chinese leader would hold a call with Zelensky. The U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said today they're urging Xi to talk to Zelensky to hear the Ukrainian perspective of the war, not just the Russian one. The European Union Council today announcing it had renewed sanctions placed on Russia over its invasion of Ukraine for at least 6 more months. The sanctions, which will remain in effect until mid-September, target those in power and responsible for the war. The current sanctions apply to nearly 1,500 individuals and 205 entities. New at 10, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has been released from the hospital after treatment for a concussion and will continue to recover in an inpatient rehabilitation facility. In addition to the concussion, McConnell's office says doctors also discovered over the weekend that he had suffered a minor rib fracture after he tripped and fell at a D.C. hotel last Wednesday.
New tonight, the death toll from the earthquake in Turkey and Syria has now surpassed 54,000 after Turkey reported additional deaths today. The number of people dead in Turkey alone went up to 48,000. At least 6,600 foreign nationals are also among the dead. Yesterday afternoon, a large group of individuals on the Mexican side of the U.S. border made a formation and approached the international boundary at El Paso in an attempt to make a mass entry into the U.S. That is according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The agency said they also used a physical barrier to restrict entry. A large number of individuals also disrupted 2 other border crossings.
Developing tonight, the U.S. government is now taking emergency steps to make sure that customers from a pair of recently failed banks aren't hung out to dry. Silicon Valley Bank collapsed on Friday, and Signature Bank in New York closed over the weekend. Since then, the Treasury Department, Federal Reserve, and Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation announced they will ensure depositors have full access to their money. The president says this is not a bailout and taxpayers won't foot the bill for the losses. In response today, the Wisconsin Bankers Association says banks here are safe. Wisconsin banks do not operate in the same manner as the 2 that failed, adding, quote, the public can rest assured that the banking system overall and Wisconsin banks are safe, sound, and resilient.
SSM Health, one of Madison's largest healthcare systems, will soon stop requiring universal masking at hospitals and clinics. The announcement made this afternoon. It'll go into effect in 2 days. SSM leaders say as we close out the respiratory illness season, they're taking steps to safely roll back mitigation practices put in place during the worst of the pandemic. pandemic. Other hospitals in the area, like Meriter and UW Health, have opted to keep their masking restrictions in place for now. A UW Health spokesperson said at this time there are no changes to COVID-19 policy at their facilities, but could adjust in the future. Looking ahead now, the Bodega at Bree-Stevens Field is returning this summer on May 26th. The event takes place once a month on 4 Friday nights. It features food carts, an interactive children's area, beer and wine sales, live music, and yard games if you're looking for the friendly competition. And the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, Madison, celebrating the groundbreaking of a new building. It's located on South Baldwin Street. The new construction will offer improved community programming space and restored thrift retail space. Aware of the historical importance of the Willie Street neighborhood, the plans will incorporate architectural details that capture the look and feel of the iconic neighborhood. The current thrift store will remain open during construction.
New tonight, it is a sign of summer. B-Cycles electric bicycles will be returning to the streets in Dane County on Wednesday, as the company also plans to expand to Fitchburg this year. That expansion will see the opening of 20 new stations and more than 110 new e-bikes over the coming years. Congressman Mark Pocan today being acknowledged as a national champion for youth by the Boys and Girls Club of Wisconsin. The award is given to leaders for exhibiting above and beyond service for club youth. Pocan was recognized for his work in almost tripling appropriations to clubs across the county in 2022. Still ahead tonight, one of the top names in dog food is expanding a recall on some of its products.
Plus, setting up for success by doing less. We'll tell you about this new concept of bare minimum Mondays. That's next.
All you have to do is point. Yes!
1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Woo!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
At Pick and Save, we want our fresh produce to meet your expectations, which is why we do up to a 27-point inspection to check for things like color and scarring. Because when it comes to fresh, higher standards mean fresher produce. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
We so amazing.
The stylish Chevy Equinox RS. And Chevy Blazer RS.
So captivating.
You don't have to be an influencer to be an influencer.
The crowd go crazy.
The RS family of Chevy SUVs, definitely worth a follow. Well-qualified buyers get 2.9% financing on all 2023 Equinox models, or get $1,000 cash allowance on all 2023 Equinox models. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $750 cash allowance.
Remember this, and the false elector scheme. In Wisconsin, extremist Dan Kelly was the right-wing lawyer behind the scenes of it all. The bipartisan January 6th Commission revealed Kelly advised Trump operatives as special counsel to overturn the will of the people and overthrow the election results. Kelly even went on tour promoting the big lie. On April 4th, vote like democracy depends on it, because it does.
How did Richard Bong shoot down 40 planes in World War II? He said he got so close, he couldn't miss. Learn about Richard Bong, World War II, the Vietnam and Korean Wars, right here in Superior.
When your door is always open, so is the fridge. At Pick and Save, however you shop, in-store, pickup, or delivery, you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards. That's a win-win-win. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
All you have to do is point. Yes!
1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Woo!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Comedian Sebastian Maniscalco, the king of clean comedy.
I'm on a cleanse. You drink drywall in a cup, and it's supposed to clean you out.
Then Mason Gooding is here.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. 5 years ago, the country of Nepal banned people from climbing Mount Everest alone. Now their government has extended that ban to the entire country. The country's home to 8 of the world's tallest mountains, and it attracts people from all over the world. But people who get lost on those solo treks are costing the government significant search and rescue fees. Nepal says travelers who hike in remote regions must now hire a government licensed guide or join a group. A recall on a prescription dog food has now been expanded. Purina Pro Plan Veterinary Diets EL Elemental prescription dry dog food was initially voluntarily recalled in early February due to supplier error. It caused potentially elevated levels of vitamin D in some of the product. Now that recall has been expanded following an investigation by Purina.
Pope Francis today is marking 10 years as head of the Roman Catholic Church. He celebrated Mass with cardinals and released his very first podcast, or Popecast as it's being called. Supporters call his first 10 years as Pope the Francis Revolution, crediting him with choosing service and kindness over the power of the papacy. And check this out, the latest office trend eases into the work week by doing less. It's called Bare Minimum Mondays. As CBS's Michael George explains, it's not about slacking, it's about self-care.
Marissa Jo Mays came up with a solution to the dreaded start of the work week.
This video is permission to do the absolute bare minimum today.
The self-employed digital creator and startup co-founder practices Bare Minimum Mondays.
You used to hate Mondays, but now you love them.
From her home in Phoenix, Mays keeps the first 2 hours of her Monday free and schedules only 3 tasks for the day.
It was like some kind of sorcery had happened. As soon as the pressure was gone, I was more productive than I'd been in a long time. You'd make a to-do list that was way too long, thinking you could overachieve your way out of the stress, but you never did.
Mays promoted the concept with TikTok videos, and they went viral.
People relate to the stress that I'm describing and the overwhelm that I'm describing. And when they hear about the changes that I feel now, they want in.
Bare Minimum Mondays is the latest strategy to combat ever-increasing work burnout. According to the job search engine and review site Glassdoor, the phrase mental health in company reviews jumped 91% from 2019 to 2022. Burnout mentions were up 42% in that same time. Now, workers are experimenting more with boundaries.
If employers are concerned about how this is playing out in the workplace, it's a great time to reopen the discussion about how burnout is affecting employees.
While the bare minimum approach isn't possible for all workers, Mays says there are ways everyone can improve their day.
It's really asking these questions that can start to get people thinking about themselves as also a human in addition to an employee. And it's working.
And that doing less can be more. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
It's an idea, Gary. You might want to consider this. You work too much.
You know, I like the last 3 Mondays, we've started out by having alert days, you know, and it's like a 5-alarm fire.
You need bare minimum Thursdays lately.
Yeah, that's true. You know, hopefully this week will be a little calmer, but it's starting out cold, even though it's quiet. As we take a look at 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Low temperatures tonight will drop into the single digits, and by morning, we could be looking at wind chills down to 10 degrees below zero in spots. High temperatures by Wednesday, though, will be in the middle 40s. So we'll go from the lower 30s tomorrow, middle 40s on Wednesday, and upper 40s on Thursday with some rain showers. But Thursday night, those showers will mix with snow and then change over to snow on Friday with the possibility for some minor snow accumulations. How much snow? Well, take a look at the computer models. These are the longer range models, the European computer model showing southerly winds on Thursday at noon and mainly rain during the day. Temperatures up in the upper 40s. The wind circulation around the center of the storm will pass right over southwestern Wisconsin. So we'll still be on the warm side of the storm through about midnight. Notice the changeover from rain to maybe a mix to snow back into Minnesota and Iowa, and by early Friday morning we should be looking at mainly snow, at least from Madison westward, maybe a mix to the east of town. But as quickly as the cold air moves in, that's how quickly the precipitation moves out, so that would limit the snow potential if the European computer model is the correct forecast. And as far as the snowfall totals, that's showing less than an inch of accumulation through much of southern Wisconsin. Northern parts of the state, a different story. Maybe a foot of snow up by Lake Superior and a foot and a half over parts of upper Michigan. The GFS computer model, the U.S. computer model, again, southerly winds on Thursday, warm, at least warm enough for rain here, but the storm circulation just a tad further south. So notice by midnight already our western viewing area changing over to snow, a mix of rain and snow in Madison, rain to the east, but as time goes on, we see that complete change over to snow by early on Friday morning. So it would be a quicker change over there, meaning that we could see at least a little more snow from this computer model, and then also light snow lingers a little bit later into the day and even into Friday night according to that computer model. So in which case we probably end up with a little more snowfall, and even some flurries could linger into Saturday morning. That computer shows 1 or 2 inches here in Madison, maybe as much as 4 or 5 up toward the Dells. Northern parts of the state, again, walloped in upper Michigan, they could see 1.5 to 2 feet of snow if that computer model forecast is correct. But right now, that storm's still way out to the west. That little weather system there is our next weather maker, and it's not going to amount to very much, at least initially, but then we'll see the warmer weather out ahead of the storm that will bring mainly rain by the time it gets here. 32 for the high tomorrow with mostly sunny skies after dropping to about 9 degrees by early tomorrow morning. Planning your day across Dane County, high temperature 30 in Cottage Grove, 28 in Brooklyn, 33 in Cross Plains. Lots of sunshine for tomorrow. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, 33 for high of Janesville, 35 Prairie du Chien, and 34 in La Crosse. Our first warn 7 to 10 day forecast, again, 40s for Wednesday and Thursday, rain on Thursday, mixing with snow Thursday night, changing to snow showers on Friday, maybe some minor accumulations for St. Patrick's Day. High of 37 early with falling temperatures. Saturday, blustery and cold with highs only around 30 and some chances for flurries. And then those temperatures start creeping right back up, so around 50 by the middle of next week with some more rain showers by Thursday.
And coming up in sports, it's on to the NIT for the Badger men's basketball team. My Greg Gard says he's not worried about his team's motivation. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Let me help you with that. I'm good, man. Thanks. Are you sure?
Everyone can use a little help. Volkswagen Tiguan with Front Assist. Visit your Volkswagen dealer and get 4.9% APR financing for 60 months on the 2023 Tiguan SE promotion, or lease one for just $359 per month. Limited inventory available.
You've got places to be, things to do, goals to crush. So at Basecamp Fitness, we pack 50 minutes worth of calorie burn into just 35. How do we do it? By switching between 60-second intervals of air bike cardio and strength training to keep the workout and your progress moving forward fast, no matter what level you're at. Take a free class, join, and get a $100 Lululemon gift card through March 31st. Visit any of our 3 Madison locations or basecampfitness.com.
Brothers Maine has been family-owned since 1938. Some of us were born into this family, and others chose to join through the years. And we know you can't replace family, but you can replace appliances, and Brothers Maine is here for you when one breaks down. Our in-house team has delivered ranges to washers to refrigerators to hectic households in a pinch, oftentimes the next day. Just because an appliance breaks down doesn't mean you have to. We're not big box. We're Brothers Maine, and we want you to feel like family here.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Chicago. Celebrating 25 years of Broadway Razzle Dazzle. The Associated Press calls Chicago the most entertaining musical of the decade. Paint the town again with Chicago the Musical.
At Overture, March 21st through 26th. Tickets at overture.org.
Why
the 2 extra seats? I know, Uncle Dane and his giant beard.
The Volkswagen Atlas with best-in-class third-row legroom. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer for 4.9% APR financing for 72 months on a new 2023 Atlas or Atlas Cross Sport.
The Whitewater men's basketball team is days away from playing in the Final Four. It's their first trip since 2014, and as Jordan Reed found out, when they take the court in Fort Wayne, Indiana, they'll be playing for something bigger than basketball, just like they've been doing all season long.
Down, 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4.
4. To some, it's just a number, but to the Whitewater men's basketball program, it's everything. Last July, the Warhawks unexpectedly lost one of their own.
The tragedy we went through with Derek Ray has unified these guys. It's brought them together. It's given them purpose.
And since Derek's passing, this team is finding any and every way to honor him.
Before every practice, before lift, before games, we start off everything with 4 push-ups. When we break it down with the team, we say DG4. When we do pictures, we always hold up 4 for Derek's number. So the number 4 really means more to us than a lot of people could even understand.
You know, they're playing for their fallen teammate and their friend, and, you know, I couldn't be more proud of how they've kept his memory alive and played in his honor, you know, FaceTiming his mom in the locker room after the game so she can be part of it, his mom cutting down the net when we won the conference tournament championship. They're more together than any group I've ever coached, and that has shown itself on the floor.
Just texting him before the season, before he came here, he told me he wanted to win the Natty, so if we could win this Natty and bring it back, it would mean a lot for us and him and his mother.
In a season dedicated to DG4, this group is just days away from taking the court in the Final Four. In Whitewater, Jordan Reed, News 3 Sports.
For the first time since 1996, the Badger men's basketball team will play in the NIT tournament. Wisconsin earned the 2 seed in their quad and will host Bradley tomorrow night in a late one. Tip-off is set for 8:30. Now, as far as motivation when they hit the court, well, Greg Gard isn't worried. He made it clear to his team they're playing in this tournament to win it all.
Understanding you're going to play a really good team no matter who we're going to get, whether we were going to be sent to Dayton in the first 4 or we were going to be somewhere in the tournament or we were going to be in the NIT. It's another opportunity for us to play a really good team. And I'll play the lineups that give us the best chance to have success on the court. And we wouldn't be in it if we didn't want to think we could try to go win it. We're not doing this as a recreational activity.
Despite conflicting reports from NFL insiders that said the deal is done, he's a Jet, and nothing has happened, we're still waiting for a decision from Aaron Rodgers. And as we and the Packers wait, well, the franchise did make a move, re-signing return specialist Keyshawn Nixon to a 1-year deal worth up to $6 million. The first-team All-Pro led the league last season with 5 kickoff returns of 50-plus yards. We're back after this.
It would appear that the butler did it. But this isn't a whodunit film. It's a Nissan sales event ad.
Get a low $359 per month lease on Rogue.
Catch these offers while you can.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Give any room a fresh look with Mohawk Tile. Mohawk features ceramic, porcelain, and mosaic glass tiles to fit any decor. Pick up Bloomfield Hexagon tiles for only $139 each after 11% rebate. Complete your tiling job with professional installation products from Tech. Unique Power Grout formula is highly stain resistant and never needs sealing. Power Grout is only $18.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Oh, the weather. What's the chance of rain tomorrow?
Ooh, 80%. I make it rain. I make it rain.
Speaking of making it rain, at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, we have an average 95% payout, which leads you to more chances of playing longer and more chances to win big. Play longer, win more, chances are you're gonna like it.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together As one, as Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together. For you.
Fjords has been crafting beautifully designed functional furniture since 1941. Every aspect of Fjords furniture has been carefully engineered to create a higher level of relaxation. Right now at the Century House, purchase any Fjords furniture and receive up to 20% off. All models, all sizes, all colors. Experience the unmatched relaxation you can only achieve in Fjords furniture. Relaxation made beautiful. Visit the Century House at 3420 University Avenue in Madison or online at centuryhouseinc.com.
At Lawton Cates, your life counts is more than just a slogan. It's being prepared for all the challenges you may face after a serious injury. It's confronting every aspect of your case with honesty, integrity, and innovative solutions that have earned us a reputation for excellence in representing the injured. It's no wonder so many clients refer their own friends and family to our team of dedicated professionals year after year. Your life counts. Lawton Cates. Call today for a free consultation.
It would appear that the butler did it. But this isn't a whodunit film. It's a Nissan sales event ad.
Get 0% financing for 36 months on select models.
Catch these offers while you can.
State Supreme Court debate, March 21st at 4 p.m.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
And finally tonight, a bit of deja vu for this Maryland man as he pulls off his 4th lottery win. Kenneth Weinberg won $50,000 last week with a scratch-off ticket. It's the 4th time he's won $50,000 or more, and one of the wins was a $100,000 prize. Weinberg is semi-retired and works as an advocate for a counseling group. He says he buys scratch-off tickets almost every single day.
I think you'd have to do that if you're going to
Right.
win that off.
Lucky streak. Let's go to Gary. It is chilly out tonight.
Yeah, the skies are clearing out and those temperatures are dropping. There's live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam. Looks pretty out there, but these are the current temperatures. 24 in Madison, but already down in the teens from the Dells northward, and single digits into parts of central Wisconsin where the skies have been clearing out. Here in Dane County, already down to 19 degrees in Middleton, 19 in Cross Plains, and 20 in Verona. And then you factor in the winds, and wind chills right now not terribly cold, but they're in the single digits north of the Dells, generally teens to around 20 elsewhere. And by morning, some of those wind chills could be down to around 10 degrees below zero, with an actual low of about 9 here in Madison, but probably closer to 0 up toward the Dells. High tomorrow, 32 degrees, but we'll warm up for a couple of days and see some rain Thursday, followed by snow on Friday. Greg Barnhart will be here in the morning to give you the latest updates.
All right, Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good. We'll see you back here tomorrow.